Not only in the darkness of night, but also in the brightness of day. In crowded places there are some questions that are impossible to answer. If people are to be believed, the Honolulu International Airport in the United States of America is haunted.
Passengers, please pay attention. Flight number AE162 is now ready for departure.
An empty, crowded airport.
This story is a depiction of the true event. The identity of people associated with these incidents is limited to them. This channel does not promote any spiritual or superstitious activities.
Daniel is a TV journalist by profession, and it is his passion to reach the truth of the news. In the toilet of the airport, Daniel met a man named Joseph, who recognized Daniel as soon as he saw him. Washing his hands, Joseph asked,
"Sir, if my memory is not weak, are you the same TV journalist who had shown this airport as a haunted place on your channel a few days ago? Sir, please do not mind. But even my kids were not scared after watching those ghost videos of yours. That moving box, and the sight of someone's shadow in the elevator. Sir, I think that was all nothing but the art of video effects."
Daniel replied to Joseph saying,
"Of course, what you saw was the work of video effects, because I was not in a position to record them that night when those incidents happened to me at this airport."
Daniel was just sitting in the waiting lounge when Joseph, after washing his hands, sat next to Daniel and said,
"Sir, if you have time, can you please share the experience you had that night at this airport? Because anyway, we both have the same flight and we still have 1.5 hours left."
After listening to Joseph's questions, Daniel started telling him,
"I was in the toilet that night washing my hands when I heard a noise of the flush inside the toilet. I looked in the mirror and found that the toilet's door opened and closed on its own. I saw no one coming out of it. I pushed that door towards the inside. It opened completely and I saw that there was no one inside. At the same time, I felt as if someone pushed the door from inside. Immediately after this incident, I came out here in the waiting lounge, probably sitting on this seat and thinking about all the incidents that happened inside, and suddenly, I saw a girl screaming and running in front of me. And when I tried to find the person following her, then I saw the same girl screaming and running in front of me once again."
Daniel also told him,
"Surprisingly, all the passengers sitting around me at this waiting lounge had no reaction to it all, which made this thing clear that whatever had happened, it was visible to no one but me. My flight was 2.5 hours late. And because I was tired after a whole day, I was feeling a little drowsy. As I fell asleep, I heard a voice in my ears.
Please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened anytime the seatbelt light is on."
I lost my sleep hearing that announcement, and when I looked back, I found no one around me who could have done this kind of mischief. It may also be possible that I was able to feel these things because my objective here was to find out whether the things said by people are true or not. After all this, I got up from my seat and went to get a coffee for myself. I bought a coffee from the coffee shop. The boy working in that shop gave me a tissue paper on which someone's phone number was written. I immediately asked him to change the tissue paper, and this time, there was no number on the new tissue paper. I came to my seat, finished my coffee, and as soon as I opened the tissue paper to use, I saw the same phone number written by someone on this tissue paper, and right next to it, there was also written, "Help me." Upon seeing "Help me" written on that tissue paper. I do not know what exactly came to my mind that I called on that number from my mobile phone. There was a sound coming from there on the call. I was able to hear this sound on my phone, but it seemed as if the phone call was connected somewhere nearby, because even after removing the phone from my ear, I was able to hear that sound clearly, and when I followed that sound, I saw that the sound was coming from the dustbin kept in front, as if someone had thrown his phone in the dustbin. As soon as I bent down to take out that phone from the dustbin, someone behind me kept a hand on my shoulder. And when I looked back, it was the same boy from that coffee shop. He had come to hand over me the change. I took the change from him, thanked him. And after that, when I looked back into the dustbin, I found no phone there. Then I called on the same number once again. A voice came from there. The moment after, when I disconnected the phone call and sat on my seat, my phone rang suddenly. I got scared because this was not my phone's ringtone, and I did not even have that song in my mobile phone. But somehow I answered the phone call, but even after saying hello again and again, there was no response from the other side. Before I could disconnect the phone call, my attention turned to another sound. Once again, I saw a girl screaming and running in front of me, who went straight to the gents' toilet. I don't know from where I got this courage that I followed her to the toilet. Trust me, I have never seen anything more frightening than this in my entire life. As soon as I entered the toilet, the door closed on its own. And the most shocking thing was that in the mirror I could clearly see that girl screaming and running, and all this was only visible in that mirror. And now, even after my so many efforts, I could not open that door from inside. When I took my mobile phone out of my pocket to call the airport's helpline so that I can get the door open from outside, then I saw that the call was still connected. And as I disconnected this phone call, the screaming and running of that girl stopped all of a sudden, and now the toilet's door also opened on its own. And this time when I went back to my seat, I had a big relief inside. I was so happy to see so many people around me that all my fear had disappeared. And now, in this happy atmosphere, a voice came to my ears.
On behalf of the flight crew, thank you for flying with us and have a pleasant day.
Just like a typical horror story, when I looked back, I found no one there. And when I got up from my seat to ask my flight status at the airline's help desk, I found that I had missed my flight, and the airport officials had announced my name at the entire airport for about an hour, which I did not even listen to.
After listening to Daniel, Joseph said,
Sir, your story has the power that if you make a movie on it, it will be a big hit, but that toilet scene went a bit excessive.
Hearing this, Daniel replied,
Of course, that was excessive, because, due to that only, my flight was also missed.
Daniel and Joseph were talking when the announcement happened.
Flight number 6907 will now call the passengers to board the flight. All the passengers are requested to report at gate number 24. Thank you.
After which, Joseph said,
Come on, Mr. Daniel, hurry up. It's time for our flight.
Daniel replied,
Not our flight, only yours, because I have to go to the toilet now.
Joseph said.
Please go and meet your ghost friend for sure. I think they must be waiting for you. Okay then, I will see you on the flight.
Saying this, Joseph took just 2 steps forward, and then he looked back. He found that Daniel was not there at all. Actually, exactly a week after, covering the news of that airport being haunted, Daniel died unexpectedly. Many more travelers who have traveled from that airport say that they have seen a journalist named Daniel at that airport and had a conversation with him. And now Daniel is waiting for you, maybe.
Thank you for your time. You were listening to Milestone 13. Please do not forget to follow us on our social media. Links are in the description.